Hey, good morning, guys, and welcome to the Tuesday class. Remember, if you have questions, this is the correct class, the correct session to ask them any and all of your questions. Today is supposed to be Q&A, but as we also have some variants, we're going to be spicing it up with also a couple of analysis. So if you have questions, remember, you can go over, as always, you can always write them down, and then when we have a live class, you just copy and paste them. But this is the dedicated class to look at those. Let me get my charts going, and of course my camera. There we go. And let's see what's going on in here in markets, because things are a little too quiet. So not looking that great when things are too quiet. And that really makes me nervous. And look at that. We have a Solana. Let's take a look at first Bitcoin and to see what's going on. And you already might see already a couple of predictions in here, right? Calm before the storm. Oh, yeah, man. And that really doesn't play it out with me. It makes me anxious. But yeah. So, all right. So something important, it is going to be, where are we standing? All right. And for now, let me just get rid of this so I don't confuse you, because this is part of the analysis. And let's go over it once again in case you missed the morning market report. And I'll show you what am I looking and what are the steps that I'm going to be taking to maybe counteract it. All right. So far, we are bullish. All right. Something important, it is this wicking action. All right, we're above the zero line. We're into a triangle. We're bouncing almost to the T from the bottom to the top, right? And as we get to the top, we get rejection within the same candle. We are ranging on our oscillator. Not only that, we also see money flow being red, while we do have some momentum that usually once again indicate ranging. Something important, if we take a look at the Wyckoff theorem, let's just give it a second. Let's drop it all the way down here, drop it like it's hot. All right. If we come back down, and by the way, this is inverted. All right. So coming back down, little range, V-shaped recovery, that gives us 70% chances of ranging. But we also, and let me just copy this so we can see it point to point, and let's invert this. All right. Perfect. Here is the thing. And let me paste that. Perfect. There we go. All right. And almost we got a 1-to-1. Come on. How did I send it to it back? Whatever. The point is that we are coming back down. We're coming down. We have the range. We have the range. We have the V-shaped recovery, right? And then based on that, we could be looking at the outer range, right? Outer range. Then lower range, right? Usually that will be somewhere around here. Lower range, we haven't made the next lower range in there, right? And then finally we have the spring, and off we go. Important, this is a range. All right, despite this diagram shows you a break to the upside, that doesn't mean that it's going to break to the upside, right? It means that we need to look at the characteristics of the range, and based on that characteristics, it's going to be playing out. Wyckoff guy. The Wyckoff guy spent his whole life investigating how the hell the range is going to be breaking out. We're not going to be nerding into it as he did. Thank you. But we're absolutely going to be thinking, hey, all right, if this guy spent his whole life, we're not going to waste our whole life doing so, but we're going to consider that 50-50. All right. And depending when we get the spring, and why do I say depending where? Because the spring right here, it is at the bottom. But if we take a look at another kind of spring in here is a UTAD, right? Just call it a spring. It's the freaking same thing. All right. The only thing that changes is the inner structure of the range. But once again, we don't care about that. Not for now. All right. So we get the spring on the top. We get the breakout at the bottom. All right. So, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, stocks copying. How's it going? Oh, see. Thank God I can hear you clearly today. Thank God, man. Nice. Love it. Let us know if we need to file a joint complaint to the Discord people who had future audio. Oh, man, they really work hard to make their product worse. I don't know why. No, but it's for real. I think it has to do with some DNS stuff. Just all right. So for that, I need come on, where are you? If we're gonna be talking about that, I need my Team 4 hat, all right? So, all right. If you're new here, you might be laughing right now. If you're not new here, you also might be laughing right now. But since this video is going to YouTube, every single time that I want to talk about a conspiracy, about a president, about a politics or something, and I do wear this thing, YouTube just ignores me. That's fucking awesome. All right. So the point is, all right, and I don't get blocked. I don't get demonetized. I never get monetized, by the way. Who's crazy? I don't know who's crazy, bro. Oh, I love that. I love that picture. All right, DNS stuff. I'm gonna be making a little pause in analysis because this is important also for trading. All right, doesn't have to do much about the the indicators per se. All right, but it has to do with trading. So, all right. So, United States, all right, owns majority of the internet. There's two kinds of internet in here. There is the red internet for one part, right, and there is the blue internet on the other hand. All right. Red internet, we know it's more controlled. It's like the one. By the way, it's physically another internet. All right, just so you know, it has different cables, submarine cables owned by Chinese, Russian, and I don't really remember who other companies own those cables, right? Therefore, since they own those cables, they can control what's going through that cable, right? The internet, it needs nodes bridging from one to another because there's actually two set of cables, all right? So let me see if I can show you that is important, all right? Red internet, submarine cables versus blue internet, submarine cables. All right, and let's see images, and where is it? I think this is the one that we can start looking into. Let me see. There was a cleaner chart where we can actually see how that internet is shifted from one side to another. But just long story short, let's see if I can make this big. Yeah, whatever. Come on, get me to the picture. All right, perfect. This is it. This is a paint out. The only thing that you need to look into it is the Cuban marine cables. Let me see if I can get another one that is not like hand painted, but it comes around Cuba. It goes through Mexico. It goes through Venezuela, right, and then goes over here. Remember that we had a class talking about the CME-2, right? What was the CME-2? The next generation new cable, submarine cable that was going to go through, what was it? Spain, Italy, Egypt, so on and so forth. And who was going to build it at that time? Guess who was? Is what was going to be, Huawei. All right, Huawei Submarine Technologies. All right, what is important to for trading? Because you can start trading. Who was investing on that? On that? Well, you could be looking at trading stocks from Huawei, from Google, from Amazon. There was other two submarine companies participating. I don't quite remember those. All right. So long story short, all right, we have two sets of internet. I think this is the actual. Come on, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, whatever. You get the point, right? One of those things. So those cables actually physically go to Russia. They go to China. They go to. They pass over or go through Egypt. They go through and they come to Cuba, right? And that's my my point of reference. If you take a look at the actual map that I'm trying to show you, which is not in here, you just look at Cuba and follow that chunk of internet, right? And it is this chunk that's owned by Chinese companies, right? And then the other chunk, as you can see right here, for example, it's owned by are we stuck? We shouldn't. All right. It's owned by the United States and the allies. All right. So just so we are on the same page. So what it's about the DNSs, all right? When there is a threat of attack or some important political masses moving around, and that's why I'm wearing this thing, all right? Um, well, you need to secure your ports of access. Talking about not actual ports like harbors, but ports of internet. The way to secure that is by securing your DNSs. All right. Remember, this is not me just pulling it out of my ass. All right. This is a whole investigation that we have found drone submarines, latching into both red and blue cables, drilling into the fiber optics, sealing it, and then reading the electromagnetic movement that goes through. And by the way, it's not fiber optics, it is a combination between fiber optics and copper. If you know, copper changes a lot. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Daga. You are fantastic, my friend. Yes, that is the one. All right, so let's go. Let me open this one. All right, so let's open link. There it is. All right, so we have one that goes from Cuba. This is the red internet, right? Perfect, right? And then it goes, as you can see, to Middle East-ish areas, right? There is one point of weakness per se, right? And you see that everything it is right here matching up. All right, there needs to be a bridge between the blue internet and the red internet. All right, what's happening here? We need to secure those, or it's not that we, but right, but this guy right here, this ginormous country right here, needs to secure their harbors or their ports in here. How they do it? They change or they update DNSs. If you take a look at, and I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna be showing you guys my whole screen just so you know how I keep my things secure. All right, so change stream, I guess, entire screen. All right, perfect, standard, and screen one, perfect. All right, so you now are seeing one of my favorite things, which is Glasswire. All right, when we go over Glasswire, you can go to traffic, you can go to world, and you can see the points where I'm connected. All right, it's not that I'm in the States, it's just telling me that I have 9 nodes connected into Mexico, 23 nodes connected directly to the States, and guess where am I connected through Discord? Germany. All right, Germany. Not only it's very close to the conflict area, it also is a harbor or a point of exchange from nodes, DNS nodes. All right. If we just take a look at once again, where do we have most of that node intersection? All right, right there. What happens if Germany gets hacked, right, by the red team? You're talking about Discord having a lot of traffic going from Germany to the States, right? So, all right, now how we tie this to bot service, because when they limit access, they put firewalls in here, and firewalls in here. So the data needs to be both sorted, processed, and delivered, right? And when they change DNS or when they secure or block DNS because there is a red alert, all right, what happens? You have less traffic, and they don't just block one DNS or they don't just secure one DNS. They secure a bunch of DNSs, all right? So what happens? Sometimes data gets blocked, and depending on what's going on in there, well, you know the drill, right? Sadly, things of communication that are not secure, but there's just too many things out there that it's just impossible to track them all. Discord, Zoom, what other ones? I don't quite remember the other ones, but Discord is in that list. So when they're trying to secure or look for something or push something through, right, Discord gets affected. So yeah, how do we tie that to trading. First, let me get rid of this. Let me share once again my trading window. And this is it. How do you tie that to trading? All right, so it's not that you really tied it down to trading, but what you can start doing, it is, for example, looking for your stocks. All right, Discord stocks. Who is related to Discord? Who is related to those DNSs? How is Google processing that data? Who also is big in here besides Google? Do anybody knows? I think you guys know, and it's another thing where you buy a lot of stuff. AT&T, oh, very good one. Yeah, that's a very good one. But it's Amazon services, right? Everything now runs on Amazon services. And Amazon has some data centers back in Europe. I think in France. I'm not 100% sure, so don't hold me accountable for that. So what's going on when you block DNSs? DNSs is not just off Discord, it's about the region, right? So you get routed through, right, or by or over, and well, then you get that point. So American-based Amazon Web Service, exactly, AWS, American Amazon Web operates data centers globally across various regions on availability zones. Key locations, North America, exactly, Canada, Europe, Germany, there you go, UK, France, exactly, Ireland, Sweden, Italy, Switzerland, and Spain. So Germany, UK, France, and Spain, those are the areas that we have exchange of red to blue, if that makes sense, right? And sadly, Mexico, it's on that list too. It's getting to that list. How we're getting more services out of China because of Huawei and because we're very close to Cuba. I mean, it will be horrible, and I would say this just out of my opinion, YouTube, all right? It will be horrible for Mexico to actually start, leeching more out of internet, out of, the red team, because that is blocked, limited access internet, all right? And more, how can I say espionage without saying espionage? All right, but you get the point, right? What do? You look at Huawei, you look at Google, you look at Amazon Web Services, and you start looking how they're doing on their charts, and then you aim for either buying or selling, right? So that's why I said tight. This is important because if we start seeing this lack of services, especially on Discord, we can start thinking or speculating the process data because service quality improvement. Yep, exactly. Thank you for that, Daga. Man, you are lightning fast. Love it, brother. Thank you. So you start looking into things moving in the space, all right? Then what you start looking? You start looking at, for example, Vanguard, right? What is it, Vanguard? Vanguard, it is a defense contractor from the States. What are we looking at Vanguard? Because if something's happening here, we might be seeing a redirection of funds. For example, last time we see a lot of Vanguard movement, and then there was I don't quite remember right now, but there was an aeronautic, aerospace contractor right before the bombing on Israel. All right, so this is how you start just pulling the thread. All right. So I know it's a little bit tinfoil hatish. I'm not expecting you to go that deep. If you like it, great. I mean, welcome to my world, right? If you don't like it, you don't need to dive into it, all right? But I think that was important just to give you guys a global picture on what's happening and what that was important. Coming back into Bitcoin, all right? So not trying to guess where we are in the range. We're just going to be looking for maybe that spring either at the top or at the bottom. And then based on the spring, we're going to be looking at our oscillator to predict the breakout, all right? So let's go back to Bitcoin, and right here, and remember, this chart is inverted. The black chart, the green candle chart, all right, that is inverted. So we have the little range V-shaped recovery, right? And then right here, we can start looking for we usually look for a triangular pattern. That triangular pattern, look at that, has a breakout, all right? This breakout is to the upside. What are we expecting here? A breakout to the upside. You see that? Let me just get rid of this and all of these things in here, and let's invert it back. All right, one second. Here it is. Let's invert it back. And guess what we got? The initial analysis. All right. So again, this is, if this is just overcomplicated, just go for the one that looks like it. Just copy the image, like you go back in here, you paste it, you have the same thing. And then what are you expecting? In this case, we don't have a drop back down, but remember, this theogram, right, is 1 in a million, 1 in like 20 or 30, I don't quite remember. In one of those, we also have that ST, right, and a lower range area. What is our lower range? Again, somewhere around here. What if we create a box in here? Once again, we're looking for not only a dip, but actually a movement to the downside. What do we have for support right down there? First of all, coming in, there you go, man. Yeah, you got it. You are like right on the spot. That was all very interesting. I didn't know any of that. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And by the way, we had a class on that previously. What was it? That sounded like a series. Previously on Trading with OZ. Just kidding. But previously, like a year ago, we had a special about that because it was the time to actually kind of like a vote, right? To see who would get the new CME Week 3 or CME Week 2. Yeah, no, CME Week 3, right? And we talked about all of that. I'll just point you out of that special that we had. We went full team full hat in that one. That was pretty cool though. All right, so what are the zones that we have very close to us? We have dynamic reactor for beginners right here, right? And as Daga mentions, until we break 115, 120, we're stuck in a range exactly. But what is the range bottom here? Well, also we can go for another theory, right? What is that theory? Fair value gaps. What is a fair value gap? An area where there's no overlapping on candles, right? And it just moves so fast that the fairness for traders, for retail traders, were not there. So theory, don't ask me why, I haven't even studied that, but theory says that market will seek to close those gaps because of the fairness of the market. That is BS for me, the explanation, right? That is the book explanation. There's more technicals about it, but you know what? I just call it, yeah, just give me the trust me, bro answer, right? And that's what I studied out of the book. That's what I learned. I didn't like that. A theory still works, right? So we all have a fair value gap in here. So we could also be looking for filling that fair value gap. Not to be confused with a CME gap, right? CME gap is because of the weekends, market closed, and then we have liquidity because of the, remember you can do off hours trading, and also there's big companies doing trading and then they just post it all at once. That creates the CME gap, which is a gap on the market, all right? Not a fair value gap, which is different. All right, so what we got in here, a possible reversal to the downside. Where is our next support? It is right at 114. What could be the other way around? Having a resistance. Where is our next or previous resistance? Right here, previous areas of interest all the way here, or even much better, previous areas of interest, right? Do we have any people thinking like us? Let's take a look at it. And how do we do that? Well, then we look at where people are opening their orders, right? What do we have a tool for doing so? Yes, we do, and it's called order blocks, all right? So why? Because order blocks are where people set up their open orders, not taken, not execute, open only, all right? So they open their order, and then as they bunch up, well, then we're going to be seeing some order blocks being created. So, well, those are not order blocks. Here we go. Those are my order blocks. So what do I see? I see a bearish, well, bullish, I would say right now, order block at the top, which usually acts as a resistance. It doesn't matter if it's highly bullish, if it's above the price action, it is a resistance, all right? Acts as a resistance, and we can see it actually battling here, right? Remember at the beginning of the morning, right? Not of the show, but of the morning, you remember that this candle went all the way down there, and you don't need to believe me. There is the wick to prove it, right? That it went all the way down there. We reject it. Right now, we're steady holding that area. And well, then what is my next order block? All the way to 110, 111. So for best possible entries, all right, I'm going to be looking at my first area of support at 114, 600, and then somewhere around 111. Why? Because I see people opening orders, and look at that. There's almost none, right? There's almost none. This says 100%, but there's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something like that, right? And you can see that there is a slightly bit of red, right? But since it's a percentage, it doesn't get counted in there, all right? There is less than a 0.01%, so technically it is none. All right, so we have almost 100% bullish scenario here. So if for any reason we sweep some lows, I think we're gonna have a major V-shaped recovery, and well, then we'll need to make another analysis in here. Why? Because we could be going for something like this, where we break immediately, retest, and off we go, or we could break through, retest, and then the bear market starts. Is it too early to call the bear market? Absolutely, it is too early to call the bear market. But I think if we have a rejection, it's not that we're going to have a bear market, but we're going to have a bearish market, if that makes sense, right? What kind of example? This kind of example. This kind of example. This kind of bearish market, right? Which could transform then into the bear market, into the bear period, right? So, having said that, let's go and analyze the other way around. Because just to be safe, we just don't listen at what we're thinking at first, right? We have to question our what we're looking at to, or what we're thinking, and say, all right, the market is manipulated. We know that, right? I also could be wrong, right? I could be just missing some important data, and then the market could be moving the other way around. That's why we have this line in here, which is locked and has an alert to it, all right? So in case I'm breaking it through, it's giving me an alert. I will be looking for my previous highs. Remember, at this point, just like in Theogram, I'm looking for the resistance levels, the outer range, all right? In that outer range, it is most likely, come on, if I can draw straight, it is most likely come the F up somewhere around here, all right? So I'm going to be looking for breakout, my entry for a retest, right, short, and then looking for a support, head switch, keep my short open, taking some profits, see if I go to the bottom, close my short, I still have a long. If that long goes in here, I'm going to have a breakout retest, off we go. And that's what I'm calling for a head switch in here, or at least a hedge right there. So you have both opportunities for continuation or reversals. So that's what I'm looking right now. Everything's too quiet. It's getting me nervous, right? Something might need to break soon. And I usually look for recently, or more recently, I'm looking at a Tuesday analysis, Wednesday entries, and Friday exits. It's been playing out very nicely, so on and so forth. Another thing that we can start looking into, and let me see if I can have a cleaner chart, which, oh, by the way, here is an older chart where we have the same outcome from previous week, having a range, defining the lower range, defining the upper range, you see that? And the same rejection, exact same charts. Just different entry, 116, because I was thinking that this is going to be moving more spread out. Like, for example, we have this V shape, right? If we copy it and clone it, 1, 2, and we should be getting us to then the third one right there, if you see there. Hey, Trump Media, I'm seeing that 2 billion on stock. Oh, but remember, Trump Media with what is it? Truth Social, they are pushing the SEC for approval of the blue chip ETF, right? I also you showed something here. Trump Media and Technology Group, DJT. Oh, look at that, 1,800 bit freaking coin. Holy shit, man! Third Media disclosed 2 billion Bitcoin stacks. By the way, this is also getting me nervous. We don't see the pump. We just don't see the pump. Are they? I mean, remember they can make changes, announce. I think what is it? They have 60 days to announce that or to disclose that, right? Just like Nancy Pelosi. Remember that the best trader in the world by numbers. 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. So are they manipulating us? I mean, we're at the top. We are at the top. There's no other way to say it. We are at the top. I mean, when have we been? Let's even go to the 4 days, man. Let's. Where are we? Oh, we're at the bottom. We're at the top, right? So, I don't know about you, but yeah, bottom absolutely. We're going to zero. We're going to zero, right? Let me see if I can make my shit working here. Let me see. No, it's not working. Oh shoot. All right, whatever. I need to fix that.
You heard,
Let's see. Let's see.
you heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
I can hear it, but you can't. I need to fix that. All right, but whatever. What I was saying is that, yep, we are at the top, right? At the very top here, and seeing those kinds two. I mean, we're ranging. We are a low volume range. We see that people are, or Trump Media is buying a lot of Bitcoin. What if they bought, right? What if they bought? Remember, 2 months, right? What if they bought in here? And let's not fuck this up. Let's go to this one. All right, much better. Yeah, why not? Let's just get rid of this. What if they bought in here and then they disclosing in here so they can buy back at here and then push it up? What is our entry? 88, 100K ish. So once again, as I've been talking about the whole week, in the previous week, 100K is not out of the question. Still, especially when we talk about the 4 days, the 2 hour, I mean the 2 hours, come on, the daily, the weekly, or even the 4 days, all right? So those are areas of interest that we could absolutely go back and visit for the worst case scenario. Remember what I showed you guys at the beginning, kind of like a bear market, kind of like a bear market. It's the first areas of interest, 100K, and then 87, 80 something, all right? So this is not over. Too quiet makes me nervous, but we need to be prepared, right? Prepared, not scared. So far, that's what I got on Bitcoin. Let's go take a look at a couple of other altcoins that I have on the AIM that I'm looking at. For example, Solana is being just pushing right now. We have broken several areas in here. Let's go to the 4 hour, and here it is. Perfect. It's just basically nailing the 30 minutes target that we were talking about, right? So that's why we had that boxing here. It's just nailing it. It did not have an entry. Too bad. We're hitting highs. At this point, what are we looking for? We're looking for another retracement, especially on the 30 minutes. We are on the range. We need to look for that range fallback or breakthrough retest your entry in here. Let's bring up my indicators to see what else I have. I'm on premium, of course. What else I have in here? My VRVP, areas of support at the bottom of the range, perfect for a better entry. Resistances, I want to take a look at my predictive ranges, perfect. Blue predictive ranges. Well, then maybe we can just make a fake out. I don't think that we're going to break it with strength, not for now. Something that I want to also see, it is, what is it? My liquidations, which I just don't see. Liquidations, here it is. And let's see if we have anything out of importance really close to as well. Liquidations at the top. We're closer at the top than we are at the bottom. So maybe, once again, a fake out to liquidate these people. Grab some liquidity. If we're lucky enough, make a higher low. Oops, like that. And then off we go. Do we have something in here other than the 50% retracement? Well, then let's see. Not really. Well, we have the 33% retracement right here and a soft order block. So maybe the initial setup might not be that bad. So what I'm going to be doing is getting an alerting here just for retracement. And as you can see, it's higher than I was anticipating because I want to see an alert before it reaches my target so I can be warned for that. Another thing that is that I want to look into it is XLM. XLM 30 minutes right now, perfect. We're back at profits. Yesterday we took a trade on it. It was an anticipated trade because we didn't have the breakthrough the zero line. Right now we are in profits. Something interesting right now, it is that, let me see if I can draw over this. Right, we are broken, or we have broken the trend line. It's not about your breakout, it's about the retest right to the high order block, and then off we freaking go. Something important about XLM, the XLM trade, let me see if I can get back to it in the 4 hours. It is that as long as I hit this area, somewhere around this area, I'm going to be moving my stop to entry, taking 50% out, and then waiting to see what's going on, because look at that high order block. It's highly bearish. It's highly bearish, and I'm not trusting it, right? So far, as soon as I can, taking profits, running out of there, and well, good luck if you can catch me, right? I'm saying that to the pegs. Let's see what else. TAO yesterday was a call for a possible entry. Let's take a look at. I actually, yep, we did it. It's not this chart. Come on, I knew we did it because I took it. It was somewhere around here. Nonetheless, it goes up. Comp, you're looking at comp. Oh, nice. All right. Oh, that looks like a 2% gains. Brother, love it. Nice. Comp USDT, that chart that you sent me, that is a what? Hourly. Looks like a theta look at short. Let's take a look at theta then. Look, it's a short. Looks like, although could be. Let me zoom in here. Yeah, we have triple bearish divergence. We have VWAP. We haven't broke the parabolic trend just now, but I mean, if we can actually go like this, maybe ignore that part, but I mean, this is pretty good. Not quite there yet. I mean, it very much could. Oh, you're looking, all right, from this pivot. Yeah, if you're looking at this pivot, you are, well, I don't have it still. Let me see. But I see, but you're going through a body here, right? So you're going through the body, not you're going from the wick to the body. So I would be going from the wick to the wick. That would give me an actual bounce. I think that would make a little bit more sense. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't have the short, but I think we can get a better position. Just looking at this area previously, let's bring up the rest of our indicators. There's a resistance. I will actually be waiting maybe for that resistance breakout. So a possible short right there at 0.97. What else do we have in there? That's a daily resistance. A loud order block, looking good. Yeah, we can consider a base bouncing here. We also can see a big wick absorption zone right down there. I would say, my friend, that I think we're going to go higher. Maybe a double top and then breakout. I think that will make a little bit more sense to me. In fact, what I'm going to be doing is adding an alerting here on theta right here, slightly below. There you go, at somewhere around 0.5095. And that will be for crossing it. And if so, I'm going to be looking for my short opportunity. Something important, I want to be below my zero line to take that short. So far, so hey, Crypto Chef, how is it going, brother? Nice. All right. So far, I think that's going to be it for today. Today was a very T4 Harish setup. I'm going to be bringing tomorrow the link of the video that I created a long time ago. So if you're interested to read or to see a little bit more in depth, the two internets, how that played out, so on and so forth, just so you have it in hand. But so far, be careful today. I would say prepare your entries, right? Your entry points. It doesn't mean that you just open up an order and walk away on it, all right? But start looking at where is it going to be a bouncing zone, where do you have your confluence points, your resistances, your supports, set alerts, because most likely they're going to be ringing tonight, all right? Tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. That's what I'm speculating. And we could be entering for between tonight and tomorrow morning, couple of trades and exiting them at Friday. We might have a shaky weekend. When I say taking them out at Friday, is at least taking some profits if we have them, right? And then keeping as much as we got out there. Team Fall Hide will not be in the recorded video. No, going well. What is it? Showed up late. Don't worry, bro. That you're fine. You're fine. We start up early. Well, rewatch. Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic Tuesday. Right, for me, it's still Monday. So tell me, good to see you around, brother. Nice to have you back. And guys, thank you so much. And of course, see you guys tomorrow.